this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. He's going for two. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Caught him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Caught him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Caught him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
All right, we are live again on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. This is episode 56. We're joined again by our boy. Oh, we are. This is episode 55.
The edibles kicking in, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, I took my vitamins before the show, Kalen, so relax. We got Rick back. We got Kalen back from vacation. So, boys, how we feeling? There's a lot going on today over the last couple of days, eh?
Yeah, sports is back. They're not even playing, but sports is back.
Yeah, I mean the NBA seems like they're a big deal today. The draft is on right now. We got our super boost out there. I guess it's locked right now. So if you didn't get it before, you suck. But it's the Blue Jays have to score more than 5 runs, and they already have 3-0. And the Raptors need to pick Scotty Burns, or I guess technically the Raptors just need to trade out of that spot and allow somebody to draft Scotty Burns. Because as long as Scotty Burns goes fourth, we are good.
Okay.
All right.
Pretty
Yeah,
strong.
so- yeah, man. So Rick, you're back in Calgary. Kalen's back from his trip. We kind of got blindsided by a trade before we came on here. It looks like the Lakers are going to get Russell Westbrook. Doesn't look like it's quite official yet, but I think this is a really good move by Washington.
Why do you don't like Russell?
Well, I just don't think that they're a team that's built to win right now. And like I like Bradley Beal. I think that he's a really good player, and I liked watching the two of them play together. But how did they do this this past year? I mean, if that's their best, it's time to tear it down and rebuild it. So get what you can for Russ, and get what you can for Bradley Beal. And
a hell of a return. Oh no, I said Bradley Beal. I mean, they're going to keep.
I feel like they could have went a different way with it, though. They
Yeah.
did turn it up in the second half of the year there when those guys did start turning it on. If you go ahead and add a big guy with them, then who's to say they can't turn it on in the East next year? But now Bradley Beal just gets screwed again, like he consistently does over.
Always, man. Yeah.
I couldn't even
I
go
feel
to the
so bad
Olympics
for
with
him.
COVID. He finally gets a guy to play with, and then now he's gone, and now he's just gonna be sitting there twiddling his thumbs again. So
I think that it's pretty safe to say that Beal's going to be on his way out too, right? Like they're not going to hang on.
Yeah.
Like these
100%.
guys that they brought in doesn't bring Beal, like it doesn't make him stay. It gets an extra first round pick tonight, and it wouldn't even surprise me if Beal gets traded while we're on here, to be honest.
So where do you think that? Where do you think a player like Beal would end up? Like I'm going to be devil's advocate. Like I think that this might actually make him stick around. I mean, he has been kind of fucked over by Washington. They screwed over John Wall by trying to trade him secretly, and then he got his ass out of there. They got Russell, and to me, I love Russell as a player. You give me a point guard that's going to give me a triple-double, I'll take that all damn day. But I think he's a selfish teammate. The guy's pushed himself off of too many teams at this point. I love watching the guy play. Let's go chase LeBron and get that championship. Let's go get AD and get that championship. That's terrible, man. You could have done something like Ricky had said there, what they were doing, what they were starting to build in Washington. They could have added a player or two there in that team. And now, that being said, let's be realistic. The East it's a gun shoot right now. Like the fucking Nets, they're crazy. That's tough.
And after tonight, the Raptors will be a contender again. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, it's even more of a gun shoot now. I just saw the Nets hired Mike D'Antoni, so they're
really?
that 5-second offense going again. Yeah, he just signed with them today, like 5 minutes ago or something. So Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni running the show there, so it should be interesting. 5-second offense, boys.
The East is just so top heavy, but that West is just going to be growth. And then there's I was just before coming on here Cody was telling me a story he was reading about with DeMar and Lowry teaming up. And if that doesn't happen, potentially DeMar going to the Clippers. Holy hell. If DeMar went to the Clippers, that would be ridiculous.
Well, I think if DeMar and Lowry they're teaming up, like look at a team like New Orleans. You got Zion there, and you got those two guys. I mean, you're instantly better. And
somebody else.
Shane, for a guy who doesn't watch a lot of basketball, you really called a good team there. I never even thought of New Orleans. That's a great pick.
Hey, I watch as much basketball as makes me knowledgeable, so that when the draft rolls around, I can bet on these picks. And I watch a lot more college basketball. And Raptors fans will be disappointed when they don't take Jalen Suggs, but until next year, when you see him actually playing, people are gonna like Scotty Burns. He's probably the second best pure scorer, and he can play. He plays big. They need a guy like this. Is everything that they want Pascal Siakam to be. That is Scotty Burns.
Sounds good to me. I don't know a ton about the guy, to be honest with you. So but
now,
it's just nice to see the Raptors get a good pick for once, because we haven't seen them pick in the top 10 like this in a long time. So
yeah.
There was a rumor trade there. The Raptors were offered and they turned down. I don't know all the parameters. It was Lowry, Anunoby, it might have been Fred VanVleet, and a second round pick for Ben Simmons. Or maybe the first round pick for Ben Simmons. I don't know if you guys have been reading on all about the rumors about what Philadelphia is asking.
Yeah, they're asking Kings ransom for it, like they said. They want a James Harden return, is what I heard, which is
now. That being said, too, I read that. Was he not the trade package that was offered? Was that what was supposed to go?
Yeah,
it was supposed to be Ben Simmons for Harden.
Yeah, it was originally.
And I think it's because of ownership in Philly that they weren't going to let Harden get there or something like that. But man, that's ridiculous. Now, they're not going to get a Harden type ransom for a point guard who can't shoot. He's a fantastic playmaker. He can do some great passing, but guy can't do it. Doesn't have a jump shot.
It's like I saw today on one of the shows, and they said, like, you're not talking about a double player here. You're talking about a single player in the playoffs, like where the guy doesn't even go over double stats and anything. But I still think he's a good player, and I still think that if he's in the right situation and he gets in the right development, I really do think he can be good. And what I heard today, what the best fit for him would be to go to Golden State right now, because that's the place where he doesn't
with the Wiggins win, right?
Mm-hmm. And it would be Wiggins and a first round pick, and possibly even James Wiseman. I heard even came in. I know they drafted him last year.
Wow.
But, if he were to go there, and then you have guys shooting him all around him, and then you get a great defender and a guy that is going to play his ass off and not have to worry about shooting, then he could fit in great there. But as long as he's relied on to be the guy with the ball in his hands all the time, like, you're not going anywhere with that. So
yeah, I mean, the Ben Simmons getting traded to the Raptors trade, I thought that was pretty ludicrous. But we're gonna have to give the lunatic of the night to anybody that thinks that Golden State would give away that big of a package for a guy like Ben Simmons. Much like our friends at Toboggan make their lunatic fridge beer. I'm enjoying one right now. I don't think that anybody in Golden State would enjoy that trade as much as I'm enjoying this lunatic fridge beer right now.
Well, like I think it was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks. I don't even remember the player. But it was a former, big name player who said maybe Ben Simmons should consider switching his shooting hand. This is a play. We're talking about switching shooting hands in professional basketball, and this team thinks they're going to get that type of trade package for him. This is astounding.
Yeah,
they're so blind in Philly.
Well, we should call timeout on the basketball stuff because we're gonna circle back to it. I just saw that the draft starts at 8, so we're definitely gonna finish this thing off with basketball. But let's do a little bit of hockey here because there's been some pretty wild stuff going on in hockey. And again, like the hockey offseason is not something I would typically keep up with, but some of the names that are flying out there. And Kalen, I know you're gonna be happy about the first one I'm gonna bring up here is Dougie Hamilton gets the bank from the Devils.
Bingo.
Now, I don't know how long they're going to be allowed to be called the Devils because it seems like everything is triggered nowadays. Maybe they're going to have to change themselves to the New Jersey Gardens. But while they're still the Devils, we'll call them the
Marvin
Devils.
Gardens.
Yeah. And obviously you're happy about this, but, does this actually make New Jersey – does it get them to where they need to be, or are they still got a little bit of work to do?
Well, all the money that's left, we got $22 million left in cap room. So we're not
Wow.
even at the floor yet. Yeah. So all the money that's left that we ever going to spend is going to go towards forwards. I know that we've been rumored to be in on the Tarasenko trades, and I don't know how excited I need to be about that. I'm a little bit worried about a player who is at any moment I feel could just take off to Russia. I've been through that dance before. I've also taken on former Russian players that I thought could revive their career when nobody really knew. Like I'm talking about the Gusev. He was great for about 8 games of the season his first year, and that was about it. So I don't know how excited I'm going to be about that. Tarasenko can be a flash in the pan. Put him up with a player like Jack Hughes, who can be a great playmaker. And you know what? Maybe we have Tarasenko 4 years ago. The Dougie Hamilton signing, I'll tell you, does that make the Devils better? Doug Hamilton had 18 power play points last year. That was more than all the Devils defenders combined.
But we're just transfer from basketball here. Like, is Dougie Hamilton like the Russell Westbrook of the NBA or of the NHL or what? Because everywhere this guy goes, he just puts up Norris numbers year after year after year, and for some reason, nobody fucking wants to hold on to him. He goes from Boston to Calgary to Carolina, and everywhere he goes, he does well, but yet nobody wants to hang on to him. So, is he a great player? Yes, but is there something we're missing here? Because I just don't understand why the guy can't stay on a team.
Sounds like he's smashing somebody's wife in the locker room or something.
Yeah, a few times.
Well, from what I understand, and
fucking scumbag.
A couple of buddies told me about this too. Is he's just a loner. He doesn't hang out with anybody on the team. So as far as him leaving towards another team, it doesn't hurt him to leave his teammates from the sounds of it. But
what a great place to go then is New Jersey, because I heard it's a real blast there.
Yeah. What do you mean? We got a new buddy. I think the average age in Jersey right now is 14 years old. We got a bunch of kids playing right now. You got Hughes.
Yeah. Talking about the city itself.
Yeah. The best thing to come out of New Jersey was The Sopranos, and this October, the best thing that's going to come out of New Jersey is when the new movie drops. So let's not get too excited about New Jersey Devils hockey over there, Kaylin. I don't think that they're quite there. I mean, what does this make them, the 11th best team in the Eastern Conference?
Well, I mean, they got Bernier as a backup goaltender too. I mean, a lot's going to happen this year, man.
You know what? I take that back.
Well, hold on. Jonathan Bernier put up pretty decent numbers playing on a shitty team in Detroit for the last 3 years.
He's just a great guy on and off the ice, as he was told. When they did the Nelson Mandela interview, it was the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
His whole career was over after that. I just want to know what you feel about Nelson Mandela. Well, he was very inspirational to me and my family growing up on and off the ice. He had no idea.
Jeez. Well, here's another guy. This guy's bounced around a little bit, and I mean, he's a guy that we talk a lot about on this show. Corey Perry signs a 2-year deal, which I was surprised 2-year deal to go to the Lightning. I mean, every other year it seems to be a 1-year deal.
Well, he got pretty much $600,000 more than what he was going to be making for Montreal. So I don't think Montreal was going to offer him any more than the $750,000 they gave him last year, and they offered him $2 million over 2 years, and you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself that you're going to be in the conference final next year, regardless.
So why does Tampa keep getting all this money? Because they just signed Braden Point to a huge fucking deal too, right?
I know, 8 years. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're pulling it off, man.
Well, I think Tyler Johnson was a pretty big cap dump, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's like $5 million, I think, something like that. I don't think it was.
Well, I mean, you take that off the books, and then you add somebody like Corey for $750. It's not the replacement. I mean, I'm not going to say Tyler Johnson's a godforsaken good player or anything, but I mean, you take off $5 million to add $750.
If you told me tomorrow I could have either Corey Perry or Tyler Johnson, I would take Corey Perry in a heartbeat.
Yeah, playoff Corey Perry was fucking awesome.
Well, I just that's what you want. I don't give a fuck what he does for the regular season. This guy, he's going to show up, and just the simple fact that he's going to be on your team, you're at least qualifying for the Stanley Cup. Now, hopefully, Tampa Bay can ruin the streak that he has going right now, and actually get him another one, because it seems like he just keeps getting there. But yeah,
I think Tyler Johnson's a guy as well. His best years are behind him, and I don't think what Corey Perry can provide at an older age is that he's still big. He can still get the puck down the board. I don't know, a guy like Tyler Johnson, as he gets older, he's just going to become invaluable anyways. So you want that experience, and I'm sure they didn't like playing against Corey Perry, so just go ahead and get him yourself. So kind of like they did with Patrick Maroon, I feel like it's almost the same kind of signing as they had with him. So
Right, right. And for a guy that's been on the move, we're going to talk about another guy in a second. But just before we do, I want to ask anybody out there, guys, are you tired of the envious look that your girlfriend has on her face when she sees Dr. Evil petting Mr. Bigglesworth? We have your solution here right now. The guys at Smooth My Balls will send you one of these beautiful nut trimmers. And they are going to give you 15% off. The link is in our bio. I think if it's not, Liam will put it there. He'll probably drop it in the chat because that's what Liam does. But yeah, they will do that, and you can eliminate that envious look off your girlfriend's face from Mr. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. After the de-thawing process.
Yeah.
All right.
I know what you're
I'm
talking about.
buying one right now.
Yeah.
Look after them grapefruit nuts you got over there, eh, Rick?
Yeah.
You got it, buddy.
All right.
So
So
better be gentle.
yeah. So easy transition from that, and that's kind of the Golden State or the Las Vegas Golden Knights seem to have dropped a nutsack on Marc-Andre Fleury, not unlike the one that he got from the Penguins. It seems like he's on his way to Chicago. I don't know if he's going to report or not. There's been rumors here or there. Now, obviously, we were caught off guard by this, so we're not even going to say like our opinion. If you were Marc-Andre Fleury right now, how are you feeling?
Just totally disrespected, man. Like, it just doesn't matter what he does. He just plays his ass off. He's playing some of the best hockey of his career, and it's kind of back to the same with the Dougie Hamilton. It's like nobody wants to hang on to him, and like if you look at it, like I think he's ranked third all time in NHL wins now. Like
Wow.
like to think of that, he's third. Like I think he's behind like just like Patrick Waugh and Martin Brodeur. Like if not, he's fourth, but he's right in the top five. And if you were to ask people that, nobody would ever think that Marc-Andre Fleury's top five in wins all time.
Well, yeah.
And,
So
and 3 cups, and just keeps winning, and it just keeps getting screwed. But for if you're him though, how do you not report? You get $7 million on your contract next year. You just had a Vezina season. How do you not report?
right,
Well,
and
it's
and
cold
based
in
on,
Chicago.
based on what you said, I'm gonna do a quick pivot because I know I've talked to Chad about this, and I think Kalen was on vacation, and Rick, I don't know if you're on this episode with us or not, but if Ben Roethlisberger plays the next 2 years at the same caliber that he's been playing the last 8 years, did you know that he'll be the third highest passer in the NFL history? Like for passing yards, it'll be.
But I believe it.
Yeah, it'll be like right now it's Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, but Roethlisberger will pass all of these guys with about 10,900 yards.
You know what's most impressive to me about that is that if you think of the way he started, and you think of like at the beginning when he was just a game manager, like, I don't think we ever thought. We don't think we ever thought that Ben Roethlisberger was going to be throwing close to 5,000 a year. Because he just didn't seem like a guy that was ever going to like let the ball rip like that. And then he's transitioning, he's developed into a quarterback like that. He hasn't always been a pure passer like that. So it's pretty impressive that he's worked his way up to that.
Yeah, and Kalen, I didn't mean to cut you off. So you go ahead, you get your Marc-Andre on here. I just needed to.
Well, I want to touch base on that though. Actually,
Okay.
So it wasn't Ben Roth because I saw that you shared that image. I think the other day in the chat was the Julio Jones versus the AB numbers there over the last few years, and how AB was like astronomically higher in touchdowns and such. Is it Ben or was it AB that was helping Ben along that way? Because he turned into a hell of a passer after AB got there. Really, did he not?
Well,
he
let's
was
just
already
like,
kind of before that.
Yeah, Antonio Brown.
Mike Wallace looked like an all-star with him. So
yeah,
Wallace was crazy. The speed that boy had, you just threw it up and he was under it.
Yeah, Santonio Holmes. I mean, Plexico Burress on the back end of his rookie deal with the Steelers. These are all guys that were with Ben Roethlisberger. He just doesn't get the respect. Do you think? And for me, do you think Heath Miller was gonna be like a Hall of Fame
tight end?
Is he a Hall of Fame tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs? The answer is no. But was he with Pittsburgh? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Going back to the Marc-Andre Fleury thing. Yeah, it's I mean, unfortunate for the guy. I feel really shitty when the story I read yesterday came out that after he got drafted by the Knights, he's in the locker or the elevator with the owners and the GMs, and they're telling him how this is where he's going to retire and this was his team and shit. But he also said that he never felt that he was their guy. And to get blindsided and find out on Twitter, that really does prove your point, doesn't it?
Well, but you know what? You saw this coming. He literally got a chance to play in Montreal in his hometown, and they fucking benched him for a goalie that hadn't played in 3.5 weeks.
Yeah,
like, we talked about that at length.
Coming from that, then you're blind because he already got shafted in that series against Montreal, and then when they lose with Later in net, they're like, oh well, you can go back and play now. Like, fuck that, man. You're a Vezina candidate. You're on a playoff run. Yeah, you made a stupid mistake on the Josh Anderson goal, but like for them to just pull him and throw a goalie that hasn't played in 3 weeks, and that's a slap in the face in its own.
Yeah.
Yo, Rick, I gotta tell you, I believe your rant based on your passion, but man, look, if you look good, feel good, play good, that sweater looks fucking nice on you.
You like that?
Yeah, that is a Raiders color. Raiders color.
I love it.
Yeah, I
haven't taken it off since I got it.
Yeah, I made a special trip out to Fatty Patty's just to make sure he had that thing before he left.
It's beauty. I love it.
Awfully sharp getting out of that truck. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Marc-Andre Fleury shows up. All right, the Blackhawks were, I think they had a big. They were a good team. Or they were not a very good team last year, but I think that they just had a down year. If Fleury gets there, where do they end up? With the changes and the additions they've had and the subtractions they've done, where do they end up?
Kirby Doc all last year. He's going to make strides for sure.
And they're going to get Jonathan Toews back as well, which, I mean, that's an automatic addition as well.
He's a Hall of Famer, so yeah. So that'll.
Do we know that though? Has he said he's coming back?
I don't even know what's wrong with him, so we still don't.
So okay, guy, I know we haven't talked about it too much. I know there's a lot of the Blackhawks news that's out there right now. You know what? There are some people that have been piecing together some things, and their people are thinking that it might be Toews. That might have been the person that had this happen to him. Honestly. Oh, you didn't hear about the stuff that happened with the Blackhawks and how they're going through like a crazy lawsuit right now?
No,
you saying he's got the Deshaun Watson treatment right now?
Yeah, I guess that's the way you could describe it. So, do you know the story there, Rick, at all?
No, I didn't hear about that.
So the Blackhawks, a few years ago, they had an assistant coach there that is now they're being sued because he's apparently sexually assaulted one of the players, and players found out about it to the point that like they were making fun of him on the ice, like other teams, opponents' teams and stuff like that, calling him out. And so this coach left the Blackhawks, went to a high school team or a junior team, got caught doing it there and got charged. And now this player, this John Doe, he hasn't come out yet, is now suing the Blackhawks because the Blackhawks gave a good reference to this high school team. And that was after this player came to Stan Bowman and said this was happening, and they told him to bury it. And when I'm not going to talk about it on air because it's some graphic shit, guys. But to think that this even remotely got told to a GM, and they didn't let that coach go. He stayed there for 2 more years and then gave him a recommendation to go hang it with a bunch of younger kids again. It's crazy what's happening.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just transition into the fact that the Oilers are really working on rebuilding their defense. And it seems like
do you like the Barry contract, or is it too much?
Well, no, I have no problem with the Barry contract. I was actually more upset about the Cody Ceci one because I really wanted him back in Pittsburgh.
Oh, you thought he was going to go back there, really?
I thought so, man. Like, honestly, like if you have a chance, I don't even want to say this from like a homer perspective, but it's going to come out that way. If you have a chance to be on the ice with Sidney Crosby at any point, if they're giving you like some kind of dollar figure that is reasonable for living, you're taking it.
You got a 2-4 shot or 50-50 shot of playing with either Malkin or playing with Crosby at any point. That's amazing.
Yeah, and if you're not, then like fuck, like there's just so many good like Jeff Carter's coming back.
Yeah. Hey, are you going to do this little homer toot right now in Pittsburgh? Is that what's going on?
I'm just saying, like, if you have that chance and you have that opportunity, like, you want to be on a team that has a chance to win the cup next year, right? Like that is every player's goal.
Good for Phil Kessel.
Now,
which is surprising, mentioning a player who's still a free agent, is he not?
There's people like Kyle Campbell that are grabbing their pearls and falling out of their chair right now because they're thinking like, I'm disrespecting McDavid, and I'm not. I'm not at all. I'm just saying, like, if you gave any, and you could have this poll, and I bet you'd be 100%. If you
It's Shane.
said you could
talking
play
about
with
this guy?
Sidney, yeah, if you could play with Sidney Crosby or Connor McDavid, who would you rather pick?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's
That's quite the debate you're gonna create.
100%. 100%.
I'm still a supporter of Crosby all the way until McDavid wins anything. I can't even put him on. Yeah, he's great to watch going up the ice. But you know what? You want to compare the numbers? Go look at the numbers from Crosby's first 5 years and McDavid's first 5 years. They're pretty fucking similar.
Yeah.
And everyone just forgets that Crosby's been doing this for 15 years. It's not like, you know, you just say, see McDavid, yeah, he's amazing. He does a lot of amazing. Crosby's been doing it all. Like, go back and watch
Right.
the highlights from the first 5 years of his career. He did
But
all
Still
the
got to do
same
10
things.
more years
Yeah.
of it, right?
Also, by
And
this
he just
point,
won.
Crosby would have already been in 2 cups and won one of them.
Exactly. And he's just done. He won gold. He won cups. He's won hearts. He's won everything. So you know everybody can jump all over McDavid all they want until he does anything. I don't really give a shit. Like
Yeah.
you just got your ass kicked by Winnipeg. So like
And went
Yeah.
completely ghost.
and Winnipeg
Right?
got swept by Montreal. So you know what? Like dude, like I don't like you know like they had the great series Pittsburgh in that first one. Malcolm wasn't healthy all year either. So
Well,
you know
they
like
placed
they're still a good team.
Yeah, they played a good Islanders team, and I mean, like things are only gonna like things are only gonna get better if there's things that I know about the teams that I watch is I pretty much know when the team is about to dump out on a player. Like the fact that they haven't dumped out on Letang, Malkin, or Crosby lets me
What?
know as a fan that we still have a chance and we're still a contender every year. Much like
Sure.
for the Steelers, obviously. I was watching training camp today, and Ben Roethlisberger is back under center, handing the ball off. That
He
gives
looks
me
good.
hope. That makes me feel good about being a Steelers fan again. We're gonna run the
He
fucking
looks good
ball.
though too. He looks
Yeah.
skinnier. Like he looks like he's in better shape even from the training camp highlights I saw today.
Yeah, and Najee Harris. Najee Harris is going to be the rookie of the year.
Great pick.
Yeah, and
I really
I know
like
I keep moving everything into the Steelers. It's just smooth transitions, right?
It's just the jersey behind me. I know it's got you all hot and bothered.
Yeah, it's that Palomalu.
The good old days.
Yeah, man, I
But-
just want to get out there. Like, if it was right now next week, and I mean we're not going to be on because next week we're on vacation. If it was right now next week, we would be all sitting down watching the Hall of Fame game, Steelers Cowboys.
Which we get to actually watch this year.
Yeah, and amazingly, there's that and the CFL kicking off on the same night. Like 1 week today, we are going to be able to watch real football.
And
Between
Rick is
the
a big
CFL and the
CFL
NFL.
fan.
I'll be at
Rick
the
is a big
Stampeders
CFL
opener, baby.
fan.
Yeah.
Stampeders and Argos, I'll be there. So
Yeah, I mean that's huge, and like we're obviously going to be just doing some R&R, getting ready for this football season and getting geared up for this golf tourney. Which I mean, we've gotten some crazy support from like local businesses, and like we can't appreciate that enough. We're gonna name them all on the next show because I didn't write them all down, so I'm sorry for that. But I don't want to like start naming them and leave one off. But if you're looking for someone to support, the first people that were in the fray for us is our friends at CoolBet. Our friends at CoolBet came through. If you go on them, make your first deposit. They got a little deposit code. You throw it on there. Rick, you did it a couple weeks ago.
I did it. Yep.
They're going to go ahead and double your deposit up to 200 bones. I mean, and then you watch out for our super boosts every week and just make a shit ton of money. It's pretty much how we do it. Now,
I did want to touch really quickly on the Seattle thing real quick, just before we get off hockey there, because we did talk on the last show about how they could have made a couple more splashes. I think it's evident kind of as to why they did it now, making a huge splash and signing Philip Grubauer. I don't think anybody saw that coming at all.
You think that was a backyard deal or like a backdoor deal they had worked out already?
I would assume so, because we were surprised why they didn't take some of the goalies that they were available. And, this is like a guy that literally Colorado just traded for like 2 years ago from Washington, or they wanted this guy and then you got him and he did exactly what you wanted him to do. And then you don't re-sign him and you let him go to Seattle, which just blew me away. And then everybody was sitting there saying, well, Colorado's not going to have a goalie now. And then he somehow pulled off that trade for Darcy Kemper. But, they went and got Philip Grubauer and they went and got James Schwartz. and they got Alex Wenberg. So those are all three pretty good signings there that they were able to.
They're still like defense heavy though, right? Like I'm not expecting a whole lot of goals out of this team. They're going to be scoring 2, maybe 3 a night and sitting on a lead, right?
Well, that's what Vegas
All
did.
right.
So
I mean, if you scored 3 goals a night, and all you need to do is look across at your goalie and be like, can you handle winning us at least 65% of our games if we get you 3 goals a night? And I think any goalie would look at that and be like, yeah, I'll take that.
well, exactly. And one thing though is I don't think a lot of people understand is that Colorado was I think the best team 5-on-5. Arguably would have been 1 or 2. I think one of the best defensive teams 5-on-5. Is Seattle going to be that good 5-on-5? Who knows? We'll see. Because I don't think they will be.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough to see how everything goes out with them. And I mean, it's so hard to judge a book by its cover because of what we seen Vegas do with what they did, and maybe because it was something that was never done before is why we didn't talk about it so much leading up to it. And when the players got unprotected, we were like, oh shit, well, let's just go ahead and build a fucking fantasy team right here. But obviously there's a salary cap. If it was me, and even, like, call me old fashioned, but if I could get Grubauer for the next 5 years or Carey Price for the next 5 years, I still think I'm on Carey Price, man.
Ooh, even with all the question marks?
Still, yeah.
It's half the price and he's half the age. So
Yeah, but like I don't pay the checks and I don't check birth certificates at the door. And if I was in that chair and I was looking at a playoff game and I had to win a playoff game and one of those guys is going to get me the trophy, I mean, yeah, give me Carey Price.
Yeah, it sounds good, but Montreal's been doing it for the last 15 years, pretty much for $10 million a year, and it hasn't paid off for us. So I don't think it's paying off for an expansion team.
yeah, that's fair. It looks like the draft's about to kick off here. I'll let you guys know as any picks are coming. Do you guys have it on your TVs or what?
Yeah, I've got it on TV right now.
Yeah, it looks like they're about to put the Pistons on the clock. This guy, have you guys ever seen the show Community?
Yeah.
Adam Silver looks like the dean on Community.
I call him the human Q-tip.
Yeah, yeah, same idea. Well, let's wrap up hockey with the Boston Bruins.
Yeah,
I hate them.
Yeah.
Rick, I know that you're a Canadiens fan. You hate them.
I hate them so much. And
Kalen, because your team isn't very competitive, you probably just like want to hate them, but you have like a healthy respect for what they do. I don't know.
They beat up on the Leafs. I love them.
Well, yeah, exactly. So there you go. Yeah, you. I think you were on that bandwagon, but yeah. So they locked up Taylor Hall again. Good for them. And they brought in Nick Foligno, which like that's double cucking the Leafs, right? I mean,
that sucks. That one stung. The hometown boy who was so excited to come back to Toronto, who did nothing in the playoffs, leaves to go to Beantown.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about hometown boys for a second. So all these Leafs fans that I know, they're like, Zach Hyman's coming back. He would take a discount to stay here. This is what he wants to do. Like the first plane ticket he got. See ya. I'm out of here. And he didn't take huge cities. Yeah, he didn't take huge money. But he's over there, and I think he's going to be a pretty big asset to Edmonton. I mean, I'm still not saying Edmonton is a cup contender, but having a guy like him is going to make them a little bit like they're a little bit closer, right? They're rebuilding their defense a little bit. They got a couple of guys that can score.
You talking about Edmonton?
Yeah, man.
They're still Edmonton.
Zach Hyman is way better than I ever thought he would be. I'll tell you that right now. And you said he didn't take that much money. If you had told me 5 years ago that Zach Hyman was going to sign a 7-year deal worth almost $6 million a year, I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Like I think the Leafs only have like $6 million left. They just even that contract they just couldn't do it.
Cashed in. Like I think
he did Hondo
because I never thought in a million years Zach Hyman would be getting a 7-year, $5 million deal contract ever.
No,
but he's turned into a really good guy that does a lot of good things. Well, he doesn't do anything really great, but he just does a lot of good things on the ice. I think they need a guy like that in Edmonton. And he could easily he can play on any line in the top 2, top 3. So.
Yeah, I think you put that guy in your second line and you just call it a fucking day.
Oof.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they had Zach Cassian playing on the top line. He's an upgraded Zach Cassian. He's like that same type of player. I think that he could easily find a first line if he really needed him to. But Zach Hyman's on your first line, good luck. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and you know what? Like for hockey, this is probably the last we're going to talk about hockey until mid-September, just based on the way things are going. And that's just some kind of a big deal going down. So it does seem like they kind of pushed all their chips into the middle there for one day. The NHL did, and there was almost $1 billion spent on the first day. It was like 538 million or something like that.
Oh, actually, after the Dougie Hamilton signing, that
Yeah.
put the league at $666 million. The Devils
Okay.
with the 666.
Well, just before,
Jeez.
for all the Leafs fans out there, we'll touch on this real quick. Do we think the Leafs got better in net or worse when they traded Anderson for Mrazek, pretty much?
Okay, you give me a healthy Mrazek, he's a good goalie. The problem is the guy hasn't been.
Yeah,
He
and I
hasn't
still
been
think
healthy.
he's really
Well-
sketchy, man. Like, I think that guy can be great, and he can also just not look great. So I don't know.
Are we saying Jack Campbell's not the goalie?
No, they're 1A, 1B. He
No way.
what's his face? Dubas came out and said that that this is a goalie tandem. That last year they couldn't have a tandem because it was just who was ever healthy they were playing.
Both those guys are not capable of carrying a full load. Like,
No.
you can just look at them and know that they don't have the size and they don't have the stamina to carry a full load. So yeah, I believe it's going to be more like a 50-30 like type of deal there. So.
And then
You
you look
wanna-
around the division.
Hey, you want to talk about carrying the full load? How about the help that our friends at Smooth My Balls are
Yeah.
giving us? Because there's nothing worse than carrying around a full load with a
No,
couple
leave
extra,
that shit.
with a couple extra pubicle hairs hanging around there. So why don't you use that link that Liam posted and go ahead and get yourself one of these? And you know what? We're actually going to give one of these away in our golf tournament. So if
Pubicle? Is that a word?
I don't know what pubic. You want me? Do you want me to be more specific when I'm talking about our dick razor promotion? Yeah. Sorry, Kayla. I will be far more politically correct when I talk about our dick razor promotion. Does that make you feel better?
Well, we actually saving the dick or the balls because now we're getting.
I would imagine that if you're going to be down there, you might as well take care of the whole front lawn. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trust yourself shaving the back lawn. You might want to get a.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yo,
My cat's
Rick,
getting aggressive here.
Rick, don't try and shave the lawn while we're on here. Let's go ahead and let's transition to football for a sec, because there was a trade that seems like maybe it would slide under the radar, but to some of us guys that have watched football for more than 2 years, Randall Cobb coming back to the Packers is huge.
It can be. I don't know if it's huge, but
yeah, we and Ricky were talking about that last night. I mean, I think it's good for Aaron to be happy, because if a happy Aaron makes a happy Green Bay. But I don't like, he had one really, really good year there, and then he was a good slot receiver. He's like 30 years old, right?
yeah, I think it's 31, 32.
Yeah.
I think this is giving him another. I bet you the guy has 8 touchdowns this year. Like,
Woo.
if I can find him late in fantasy drafts, I'm gonna get him.
Watch it.
Comfortable throwing to him, and no matter what, instead of Rodgers, he's going to find him across the middle. I'm not saying that he's not going to be good, but I just don't think that. I think they could have had somebody else fill it regardless. I don't know, but he makes everybody look good.
I mean, for $3 million, if you could get 8 touchdowns for $3 million, I think you would take that. Like on most teams.
Oh, for sure. I think that this is. I think Aaron Rodgers is just happy because he finally got to say a GM decision. So
yeah, it seems like more of a like, well, you wanted him, so now Rodgers might have to force him the ball a little bit to be like, see, I told you guys, you should have listened to me. You know, it could work, it could not work. I don't know, but I mean, interesting.
What I remember, he's been banged up the last couple of years too. We'll see if he can stay healthy. So.
I mean, I would fake being injured if I was on the Texans too. Yeah, I mean, like,
absolutely.
You're not taking care of your shit, and like, just you're back in Green Bay. Things are a little bit,
Well, we all know that Green Bay is not a good vacation destination, so you got to do your best.
Well, I was just going to go to that.
Get, right?
Shane, what did you think of Aaron Rodgers' press conference? Did you have an opportunity to watch it all? I
saw bits and pieces of it. You know what? Like, I I don't know, man. It just seems like he lost the game of chicken. He's a little bit bitter right now. It looks like the Pistons went ahead and got Jake Cunningham. Not like that was going to be a surprise for anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pick's official.
Now, here's what I loved about that, and I said it to Rick last night. The truth that he showed in the press conference, the way he talked about Micah Hyde getting screwed over on the way out the door, Charles Woodson, Julius Peppers, Jordy Nelson. He basically called out, and Brett Favre, yeah. He called out the organization. And also, I don't know if he did kind of follow up by saying this organization has paid me a lot and I love it. But he said, I love playing in this city. I love playing for this org. No, I love this org. And he stopped saying org and then said, I love these fans. I wonder if there's actually still a lot of bitterness there between him and what he feels with the organization.
Oh, 100% there is. 100%.
Look at that. He didn't even cut his hair for them.
That was, like the greasiness, man. His hair looked like it was starting to dread.
Yeah, he's getting nappy hair, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I thought was he sounds like a pompous asshole to me. You know, people come here to play with me, blah 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 blah, and then he backtracks. Oh, I mean to come play with the team. Like, come on, man. Like, we all know you're great. We all knew you were coming back the whole time, anyways. Obviously, you're bitter. You went to the NFC Championship. What is it, 2 years in a row? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like you got a good team. Just get out there and fucking play. Shut up. Like, you're in Green Bay. You know that's the way they operate. They don't sign big free agents. They never have. That's what they do. Like, so it's just like the whole thing to me is just pretty comical. And I hope that he does leave next year and gets his wish and gets his ass kicked anywhere else he goes.
As you can tell, in case you didn't know, Shane, Ricky is a Brett Favre lover and an Aaron Rodgers hater.
Oh, I remember. I remember sitting at Fatty Patty's with Rick, watching the Brett Favre game against the Raiders the Monday night after Brett Favre's dad died.
Perfect game.
Like he was crying out of one eye for sadness and crying out of the other eye for happiness. It was incredible.
It was a tough game. Javon Walker's best game of his career.
Yeah.
That's what got him paid in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a joke. But yeah, man, I just wish he would cut his hair at least. But that's all I have to say.
You know what though, as a couch guy though, like a couch football watcher here, and not knowing the inner workings of football teams, it was interesting to hear that literally they didn't talk to Aaron about any offensive acquisitions or cuts or anything. Like, I would have thought that you would have gone to him and been like, hey, so like he had said there was a certain player that was cut. I don't know who he was referring to, but was leading in the preseason or something like that.
Or Comier or something like that. It was one of the receivers.
Yeah, and they cut him and he was leading.
Jake Kumro.
Yeah.
Is gonna knock something over.
But to hear that, like, they didn't even go to him and to say, like, we're going to do it. I get it. It's your team and you're the GM, but he is kind of right in the sense that he's been around for long enough. I would assume, and maybe I'm wrong. Now, maybe I know I'm wrong, is that they would go to Brady and say, hey, Brady, we were going to do this at some point in New England or in Tampa. We're thinking about bringing it back.
That's what I was saying to you last night. They didn't really do that with him. Like, how many years did it take for Brady to even get that pull? And that's one of the reasons he left New England in the first place. It's because they weren't going out and getting guys that he wanted on offense.
Right.
They were just drafting guys like N'Keal Harry and, stuff like that, where he's like, give me a receiver, please. And then he leaves and goes to Tampa and gets whoever the hell he wants.
N'Keal Harry is most likely to get cut this season, I think, out of any player in any training camp.
Kelvin Benjamin, that's because he got cut yesterday, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that was a tough break for him.
Yeah.
Why don't you take it away on that, Kalen?
So, okay, it wasn't true about the stealing food thing. That's funny. However, the story actually goes, he came into, when he got signed, he was weighing 265. And the coaches told him that he had to drop weight. They wanted him at 250 when he came into training camp. He showed up at 268. So not only did he not lose weight, but he put on 3 extra pounds, and they cut him as a result. You know what? I don't get it. What did the guy come into the league at? 220, 230?
He was big, yeah.
Like, I know he's a big guy.
235 maybe.
Then he just like, what happened? How does a receiver fall off? And then to me, like there's 2 different versions of wide receivers converting to tight ends. Jordan Matthews, what he looks like right now, converting to a tight end is a muscular wide receiver who put on the weight through muscle. Kelvin Benjamin just got fat and said, well, I don't have to run as fast as a tight end and I still have good hands. Could you imagine that guy trying to block? There's no effort there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to be tired. Yeah, I mean, it's tough for us to sit here and say that a guy put on 15 pounds in the last 10 years. Like, give me a fucking break, Kalen. God damn. The guy,
Yeah.
the guy got drafted to the NFL. He got all the money in the world. His body type's his body type. He just started to fill up. Maybe he didn't drink at Florida State, and when he got into the league, he was like, "Oh shit, beer actually isn't too bad."
Maybe.
We all can't have the Adonis physique that you do.
Oh, stop it. If I'm getting paid as much as he was, I'd have an Adonis physique. If I got trainers that are at my fingertips, I'm going to have an Adonis physique.
No,
I'm just saying.
Yo,
the
you're
guy got-
contradicting yourself because you told me that God gave you that body and you're never going to change it.
That's right. I don't mess with the image that God built me in. Now,
Yeah, from the
but
guy
that-
that's never been to church in his life.
but seriously, like, come on. You're talking about Kelvin Benjamin. Been out of the league
All
2
right.
years.
The
You got a
Rocket
team that give you
selection's
the
up here.
chance.
Rocket selection's
Oh.
up here.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. They're going to take that Jalen Green guy, right? Yeah. There he is.
Yeah.
Jalen Green. Boom. Number 2. We still need Scotty Burns to go 4th. Yeah, Kalen, go ahead. What were we talking about?
He's been out of the league a couple of years. You have an
Yeah,
opportunity.
you're fat shaming him.
Stop it. You have the opportunity to come back, and they tell you to lose a little bit of weight over the course of 2 months. And not only do you not even lose a pound, but you put on 3.
Of
And
muscle.
he did
He was
not.
never going to work out anyways. Let's be honest here. They have a
Yeah.
great tight end there. He was just going to sit on the bench and eat Cheetos anyway. So let's just
Yeah.
move on from him.
Maybe
He's
he's
anyways.
maybe he's big boned. Let's move into Howard because Xavier Howard is a guy that we've talked about at length on this show. We talked about when he got his contract. We talked a lot about his season. You thought he was the defensive player of the year last year, Kalen, or at least at points you did.
Yeah.
Now there's a trade market obviously opening up. He's officially requested a trade in the weirdest way possible. And where's he going? Because apparently there's only been 2 playoff teams that have checked in on him from last year. Who do you think those teams are? Seattle?
Got to be one of them. They need to upgrade that secondary.
Can they pay him? They got the money?
That's a problem, right? He's making $10 million this year, which is still not enough for him. So he wants to get it restructured on that. But that's one of if I'm thinking of a playoff team, that's one that I think would have probably checked in because they're just so drastically poor at the secondary. I'm
gonna tell you that Pittsburgh was one of them.
Ooh, really?
I don't know that officially. I haven't seen a report of that, but it's their style. They would give up their first round pick next year for Xavier Howard.
It wouldn't be a bad pick, man. And would you be happy with that? Because I was tooting that boy's horn all year, as you said, and there was times you kept telling me to put the fire out. So, I just want to know if you're flipping the script now because you might be a Steeler.
Provided he comes in and understands that he's probably like the 7th or 8th best player on the defense, I have absolutely no problem with it. But
well, why don't you just steal another DB from Miami for nothing?
Yeah. Well,
right.
Yeah, and that's kind of what made me think that is the Micah Fitzpatrick trade. That made sense. And the Xavier Howard one, I bet you they wouldn't even have to give up first round pick because of the contract.
Yeah, it's going to make Miami look pretty fucking stupid if they get rid of Fitzpatrick and him within a 3-year period.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
When you're trying to build towards the future and you're a young team that's on the verge of being good, it just makes no sense to me how these teams don't find a way to keep their star players and expect themselves to get better. It just makes no sense to me.
I don't. Yeah. Was there a discrepancy there with Minka? Did he have a falling out with the coach? Because I don't understand why he was even traded.
They didn't like. He didn't like the way that he was being used because they kept wanting to bring him down to the box. So he said, "Can't we just play defense where I'm effective?" He's not a big guy. He's not a disrupt. He's not Troy Polamalu. He's not Derwin James. He can't come down into the box. He's far better as like an Ed Reed type safety. And the Steelers are sitting there and they're like, "Are you guys sure you just want one first round pick for this guy?" Like, okay, well, we will not only take him, but that guy will probably be the highest paid defensive player in Steelers history.
Wow, over JJ or TJ? Sorry.
Yeah, TJ is going to get his contract this year, and Minka's not going to get it till next year. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it's just going to be on a different level. I mean, they're probably going to give this guy like $19 million to be a safety. That's a lot, man.
Defensive players are getting too much money, man. It's an
Well,
offensive league.
you know who's getting a lot of money is the offensive lineman, like Braden Smith right now for
As
the
they
Colts.
should.
Well, the Colts line in
Yeah.
general.
He got a ton of money.
Oh yeah, you're
All
not
right.
gonna get Ricky's always gonna want love for the O line.
Yeah. All right. The Cavs pick is in, but we're not gonna talk about it until they actually make it. Have you guys seen this this David Shaw comment coming out of Stanford?
No, what's going on?
I'm gonna say it really quickly. Like it's not like it's a huge story yet, but it will be. This kid Bryce Young from Alabama, he got a $1 million endorsement as part of this like name, image, likeness. So David Shaw says, aren't we supposed to be in a fair market? Isn't this supposed to be a free market for everyone so that everyone can get like their money and get their stuff? We're not living in a free market. We are living in an Alabama market. So,
Okay.
so he's basically saying that because this kid signed with Alabama and not somewhere else, that's the only reason that he's getting his $1 million. And all right, the Cavs selection's coming here. It's probably going to be Mobley, right?
Yeah.
And any reason to believe it's not? It'd be
No.
sweet if it was Suggs. It's really going to make my pick look a lot better. Yeah, Evan Mobley. There you go. Boomtown. Let's go. Next pick has got to be fucking Scotty Barnes. It might be Burns.
They
Barnes
were
or
just
Burns,
saying
one of the
that Cleveland to take Jared Allen, but I also heard rumors of the Raptors going after Jared Allen as well. So.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I heard he was a big one on their list there. That would be amazing for the Raptors if they could get a guy like Jared Allen.
Yeah.
We all know how much they're lacking a center. So.
yeah.
Well, they've been chasing that for a long time, and they've been trying to force people into a position that that big man should be able to play but couldn't play. Yeah, big.
Well,
man
they had
threes
Valanciunas.
instead.
They risked Valanciunas for Gasol to win, and they won. But Valanciunas, it sucked to lose him because he would have been a good center for a long time. So.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy right,
He's got again.
Mobley.
He just got flipped. Yeah.
Yeah, Mobley is probably the guy that should be on the Raptors, but you can't really pick who you get drafted to.
Well, and you were talking about the SEC thing. I just saw that they approved it for them to move Texas and to there for 2025. I think.
Yeah, 2025. I'm clapping over here.
They just went from 4th place in the Big 12 to like 3rd to last in the SEC.
Jesus Christ. 4th in the Big 12? Easy.
We looked it up. The last what was the year the last time that Texas won the Big 12?
Did they not just win it?
No.
Did they lose it? What was the score in the? Oh yeah, it was last second. It would have been Colt McCoy's year.
Yeah,
they went to the championship.
Yeah, 2009, man. Like we're not we're decades away from the last time they were good.
And we looked that up too, Kayla. The other time they won was '96, and Ricky Williams was their running back, and Priest Holmes was their backup.
Did they not? Wait, hold on. They didn't win the Big 12 when Vince Young went to the Rose Bowl.
Oh, they
won it that year?
We won it They won it 3 years over the last.
It wasn't the national championship.
Yeah,
it was just the Rose Bowl. But
I just read that they have to pay a penalty of $75 to $80 million just to switch conferences. Like, holy! You guys can't pay your athletes, but you can pay $80 million to switch conferences.
Well, and what's crazy is that Oklahoma and Texas have carried that conference as far as like money goes. Like, really, what are the other teams in that conference bringing in? Really? Yeah, Oklahoma State's a freaking money powerhouse. Come on.
You know who the top team is right now in football in that conference?
Who's that?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma.
Oh, Cowboys.
Now.
Well, yeah. Now that those guys are leaving, yeah.
Yeah. That's and why? Where do you think does that team? They're not going to be 18 conference. That's ridiculous. So what kind of realignment are we going to see here now? They're going to have to do something over the next 4 years. There's no way to have an 18 conference.
Yeah, Chad and I talked about it a little bit. We were wondering if there'll be a Power 4 or if one of the mid majors will start to absorb some stuff. But I actually looked the other way and I said, what if the Big 12 went and got like Cincinnati? And Chad said, if they got Cincinnati and Boise State and a couple other teams that are kind of contenders, do they stay a legitimate conference? And I think the answer is yes.
Okay, so what about basketball? Look at just outside of football. Look at basketball now too. You have teams like Kansas and then Baylor. Like, what's going to happen with them?
Well, I mean, those are the Big 12 teams. I mean, if you had Baylor playing Kansas or Baylor and Kansas playing Cincinnati every year in basketball, again, I think that's something that people are going to sign up for, and I think that's something that you could watch. You know, like
Is this where was this where maybe Notre Dame finally gets coaxed into a conference?
no. So, and that's what I was gonna say next is there's some teams in the Big 12 that want to make the move to the Big 10, and there's been talk that the Pac-12 is trying to send some teams to the Big 10 because they don't have the viewership for it, but there's a higher likelihood that Notre Dame joins the Big 10, and I think that that's going to be the thing that happens next for them. Like a BYU would easily join the Big 12. They're right by Colorado there anyway. They're in Utah. It's not like it's super far for them. That time zone already exists in the conference, so that makes sense for them. And if that was the case, and if the last big independent was Notre Dame, they already play in the ACC in basketball. Scrap all that shit. Go to the Big 10 for everything. I think they play in the Big 10 for hockey. So, let's just get these guys in the conference and move on with it. And the Raptors pick is in here. I think it's Barnes, man.
Oh, you're feeling it.
They're showing
Don't look-
Suggs. They're showing Suggs. He's not on the phone. But after this pick, we gotta run through some quick baseball stuff here. Silver's not even on the thing yet. Let's go to the baseball. All right. So I feel like the Scherzer's trade is already done. And I think
I'm
that
looking
Max
to make
Scherzer,
sure to see if anything new has happened.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think that
haven't traded
Scherzer
Barnes
has
yet.
been traded to the Padres. Now, that is open for debate because we don't have actual confirmation. And apparently, a
Oh
couple teams
my
don't.
gosh.
What? It looks like
Maybe the Dodgers are working on finalizing a deal to get the Max Scherzer and shortstop Trey Turner for a prospect-laden return.
Wow.
Scotty
if-
Barnes, baby. Scotty Barnes.
Woo! There you go, Shane. So you only need one more run out of the
And you're only
Jays?
one run away in the Jays game. So.
What's the
crazy.
score right now in the Jays game?
4-0.
4-0.
Woo! All
4-0
right,
in
cool.
the fourth inning. So you're
Cool
looking good,
bet.
my friend.
We coming for you. We coming for
Alright.
you. Yeah.
That's money.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of pissed off Raptors fans around there right now, and they're only gonna feel that way for I don't know. When does the NBA season start? November?
No, October.
No, it'd be starting soon.
It's usually around my
October.
birthday. It's usually
Yeah.
around October 26th, my
Yep.
birthday.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam is now on the block. This dude, watch out.
Whoa!
You just got replaced. This guy
He's
is
a big
good.
Hey,
contract.
whoa! Let's slow it down there a second there because I don't think I think we got to give Pascal Siakam another year. I think we got to give everybody on the Raptors another year. Playing a whole year away from home, I think that's got to take away from it. We know this team's good. We saw what Pascal Siakam could do a couple years ago. I think we got to at least give him another chance here. Give him at least half a year to see what he can do.
Yo, they're
And who's to
showing
say
the
they can't
Scotty
play
Burke.
together.
They're showing the highlights. This guy just blocked it, ran down the court, and laid it in. This guy is a ball player.
Shorty was the sixth player of the year or sixth man of the year or so.
Yeah, he was also the ACC Freshman of the Year, which is wild. That's a basketball conference, man.
Mm.
Well, I think
Hey,
that
Shane,
both of them together could be good by the looks of the highlights I'm seeing. So we'll see. Just got to get
Shane,
Jared
you're-
Allen now.
Your closet favorite baseball team is working on a trade right now for Chris Bryant.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Is
Chris
that the
Bryant
Mets?
the Mets, yeah, and or Zach Davies.
I still remember, Shane. You like that?
Yeah.
I messaged Kalen when Pete Alonso won. I'm like, Shane must be happy. He's like, oh, he's not really a Mets fan anymore.
Well, first of all, the Mets were always my second favorite team behind the Jays, and I have never once, even to this day, had a problem with the Mets. But
I just remember in high school that was your favorite team from what I remember.
That's what I thought.
yeah, behind the Blue Jays.
Oh, okay.
But in high school, the Mets were in the World Series against the Yankees, so that
The Subway Series.
yeah. But
I
they
think the
just
Dodgers are gonna
they
get Trey
just
Turner.
they just gave Burns the an NBA comparison of Draymond Green.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm seeing that
well,
right now.
wow, that's
Nothing wrong
a
with
lot
that.
of attitude to bring to the court.
The only check mark he doesn't get is shooting, which is fine because you could practice shooting.
Ask that to Ben Simmons.
Well, you said he's shooting with the wrong hand, but anyway, let's run through some of this baseball stuff because I'm feeling pretty good about this bet that I laid in now.
Yeah.
That was a bit that was a plus 550, eh?
That's crazy, man. That's
as
crazy.
long as our Jays can get another one. And when I emailed that to Pat today, he was probably like, "Oh, yeah, we'll take your money. That's no problem." Now he's like, "Well, fuck, you asshole."
Attaboy.
So Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo are both on the Yankees now, which means they now have Aaron
Two
Judge,
left-handed bats.
John Carlos Stanton, Joey Gallo, and Anthony Rizzo. So yeah, two heavy hitting righties, two heavy hitting lefties. Are the Jays like if you see that deal and you're the Blue Jays, like do you stop trying for this year, or does this even matter if you can get the right pitching?
Yeah, but the top one. It goes back to the Yankees always seem to do this every couple of years. They always get the big slugging first baseman and get really whatever the top guys are on the market. They always seem to do it. So I don't know. The Jays have a lot of work to do this year, anyways, and I don't really think anybody's expecting them to win right now this year, anyways. It'd be great if they did, but I don't think it's worth it for them to go. If they can't get Scherzer, like obviously they were one of the 8 teams in on him, so kind of hoping they were gonna get it on Scherzer. But if they're not gonna get him, then yeah, I would just pack it in for this year and let the boys play.
Yeah,
All my friends keep saying that they're on a 2-year plan. That you give them 2 years, this is going to be a team that's going to run the MLB with storm, and it very well could be. They are built to be like that. They really are, but they just need to have pitching, and they need to focus the next 2 years on getting relievers. And I think that'll be a really scary team. But the AL East, man, is like a lot can happen in baseball in 2 years, and a whole lot can happen in the AL East in 2.
The problem is, sorry, Liam, we're in overtime. Yeah, the problem with the Blue Jays and like relief pitching is you can't sign middle relievers to long-term contracts. So you have to be really, really good at scouting, and you have to have really, really good development to have a decent bullpen. Other words, at this time of the year, every year you're paying for whatever middle reliever is hot right now, which Brad Hand is the hot hand for Toronto now.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like they overpaid for him, but that's going to be the Achilles heel. And like teams like the Dodgers, it's more about having the prospects, the low end prospects, like a guy they gave away for Hand, that they can continue to cycle through the way that the Dodgers do, the Yankees do. The Red Sox are good at it.
Austin Riley, and we have like 8 catchers, so I think that was a good trade from what I saw.
They have like 5 shortstops in the top 100 prospects in MLB, and they're unwilling to move on any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, they have 3, but like you guys know what I mean. And for the Jays to say that they have a 2-year plan, I don't think so. I think that they believe that they can win this year. They wouldn't go and get a guy like Brad Hand if they didn't. And they're not done. I mean, Kyle Schwarber is going to be a name that you're going to hear a lot about. I don't think that they're getting Scherzer as much as that would be awesome.
Yeah. But I don't think they're done, but I do think they need to go on like a 13-2 stretch right now to literally get themselves in the playoffs, because this win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 1, like that needs to stop. Run here. They're very capable. They need to put together and stop losing these close games,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And like, all right, so Jalen Suggs just went to the Magic, which I don't know. Like, I don't think that he's not going to be a bad player, but he wasn't the guy for the Raptors. So the Raptors got the right guy after Mobley, I think. For the Jays, if they could do things like they did today and get off to a quick lead, and once you're off to a quick lead, actually hang on to it and not just let your foot off the pedal, then they'll be fine, because they have a lot of guys there that are, I mean, like Vladdy
bases loaded, 1 out, bud. Top of the
I saw that. Yeah, they're about to score.
This is fantastic. This is fantastic news, guys. We are
I like that.
Yeah, we are having a great time here. What else was big? Looks like the Dodgers got Duffy, which
1-8.
Yeah, well, right now, like, you know what, he's going to be a little bit better for the Dodgers, I think, but I got like that move to me says that there's no chance that Trevor Bauer is pitching for them this year.
I don't think he's ever going to play. Like, he might be gone for a little while, man. I don't know if he'll be back next year either. They're
Well-
really. It sounds like they're really gonna just cancel this kid.
Yeah, well,
He's an
look,
asshole.
yeah, like we don't need to get all into all the shit
No,
that
no.
he did and like whatever.
No, but on top
like,
of that, I think it's not just that, but I think it's the blatant him openly with like the foreign substances, bragging about how he can make balls stick to him. I think between what's happened that we're not going to talk about and the him rubbing that in baseball's eyes, I think that maybe the league might just be done with him.
well, if he's looking for an alternate gig and he's good at rubbing up balls, just a thought. Just a
Just
thought.
a thought. Yeah. Good job.
All right. Well, yeah. What else you guys got? Because as far as baseball
wanna-
trades go, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to throw a quick shout out to our Olympians that are going for Canada right now. Penny Alexiak, now the most decorated Olympian in Canadian history in the Summer Olympics, still has the opportunity for a couple more medals. So I just want to give a shout out to her. It's pretty awesome. She's won 6 medals now. So
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
I told
am I
Chelsea that I wasn't going to watch the Olympics until she was in them. So.
wow.
that's
Yeah.
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so for that, yeah, let's just sign off because we're about 5 minutes in overtime right now, and Liam's getting annoyed. Make sure that everybody is subscribing to our Twitch channel, our YouTube. Make sure you like the Facebook. We have Instagram too, but for some reason we can't stream live to multiple stuff and Instagram. We're figuring that out. We'll figure it out eventually. But make sure you check that out. We appreciate everyone's support. We have some big stuff that's going to drop about the golf challenge. Our charity, what was it called again, Kaylin? Do you remember?
The CMHA.
Yeah.
Going?
Yeah. So the Canadian Middlesex Mental Health
Association?
Association is gonna partner with us for this. So it's a big deal, guys. So make sure you check it out. But as always, we appreciate it. We will not be around next week because we're gonna get ready for that. We will be back on the 9th, and we will see everyone then. And enjoy yourselves. Cheers. Go get some